chapter 6, verse 14. Here's the first thing. I call it the voice from the past. You have to remember the voice from the past when you're exhausted, when you've been criticized. What is it that keeps you on the task? It says, the Lord turned to him and said, go in the strength you have and save Israel out of Midian's hand. Last phrase, am I not sending you? Sometimes when you're exhausted, sometimes when you feel like quitting, sometimes when you feel you can't get any more flack, you've got to remember the voice from the past. Who called you to do what you're doing? Who called you? God called me. I never wanted to leave my church. We cried for a year when we left our church. We have no kids. The church was our church. I never had an ambition to do what I'm doing, didn't want to do it, but God spoke to me, and one of the major words I had was, you've been a brother to many, but God's calling you to be a father to many. And it was incredibly difficult to do it. But you know, on the days I've struggled and wanted to quit, God has never given me a new word. So I have to go back to the word. I've got to remember the voice from the past and say, and without something new, I am going to carry on doing what I'm supposed to be doing till God gives me something else. But the trouble is we don't remember the voice sometimes. Gideon was called by God to go and save Israel from the Midianites. Am I not sending you? When God calls you, he'll give you the grace to come through exhaustion. I know several leaders who get approaching burnout, and sometimes they take some time off. But I say to them, go back to basics and remember what God called you to do. And I would suggest you're probably doing some things God never called you to do. Do the things. Remember the voice. This morning, if someone sat here and you have been criticized and you're exhausted with sadness, I wonder whether there could be a voice to go back to. Oh, that's what God told me.